For weeks, Republicans have called on Nancy Pelosi to hold a vote formalizing the impeachment inquiry. That happened yesterday, so they must be very happy today, right? Joining us now, Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union and former political director for President George W. Bush, and CNN political commentator Ana Navarro. Great to have both of you. So, Matt,
great to be here.
You all, Republicans, wanted a vote formalizing this. You got that. So are you satisfied?
I thought it was a great day yesterday. I actually got to talk to the president yesterday. I think his spirits were very up. The advisors around him. Nancy Pelosi has said all along that she wouldn't move on starting an impeachment process unless it would be overwhelmingly bipartisan. And let's face it, that's just not where this is in the House of Representatives. Furthermore,
hold on. Just to back check one second. Hold on.
Yeah.
She didn't say overwhelmingly bipartisan. You're right. In March, she said that she wouldn't
How
move
about
forward
give me
unless it was
50 votes?
bipartisan.
Let me give you an example. No, let me go back at you. So for Nixon and for Clinton, Nixon's impeachment was started with 410 votes. This very vote would have gotten 410 votes under Nixon. With Clinton, it was over 360. That's the kind of bipartisanship we should do impeachment on.
Matt, times have changed.
They sure have.
I mean, and you know that, Matt. Times have changed. We are in a very partisan climate.
Impeaching a president without a crime.
Not just from the Democrats, from the Republicans. It's a very partisan climate. You would never have that today. That's not a standard. And by the way, it's also not a constitutional standard.
No, that's not true.
You would never have that.
No, because
the president's own tax cut didn't get any bipartisan support. We're not in that world right now, Matt.
No, but let me be clear here. I think that it is awfully important when it comes to impeaching a president, because even with those over 360 votes on Clinton, having tons of Democrats agree that President Clinton should be impeached, the Republicans still paid a price, because when it looks like you're being partisan with impeachment, I actually think the voters don't like that. And I think that what's hard for Pelosi here is that they don't have a crime. They just don't like this man. And that's not enough to impeach someone.
Time out, Matt. That's time out. As you know, she didn't start the process until after the Ukraine call. And there have been lots of witnesses and lots of information that crime is not the standard, Matt. You know that.
It is. High crimes and misdemeanors is the standard.
This is a political process, and lots of people heard something that is not allowed, which is asking a foreign government for help. Wait a minute. You think it's totally allowed to ask a foreign government for help in a political process?
Specifically on the Ukraine, we actually have a treaty with the Ukraine to root out corruption. And this is one of the problems for the Democrats. If you would impeach President Trump over leveraging Ukraine on their aid, you would have to impeach Vice President Joe Biden. They're in a hell of a pickle on this rhetorically.
Okay. Go ahead. Ana, I hear your heavy sigh. Please, what is your response?
Well, since I drink coffee, not Kool-Aid, look, first of all, unlike Matt, I didn't think yesterday was a great day. I thought it was a very somber day. I think any time when an American president is proceeding towards an impeachment, it is a somber day in America, and one where I think we are reminded about the co-executive branches and the fact that we have checks and balances in this country, something which distinguishes us from many other countries. Look, I think Nancy Pelosi actually has a lot of credibility on this, because she hasn't been on the impeachment bandwagon since day one, because she wasn't even on the impeachment bandwagon after Mueller, because it's the facts that have dragged her there kicking and screaming. The undeniable facts is what have dragged her there. And I think it's a day when the American people are going to get what so many have wanted, which is a chance to hear for themselves and judge for themselves. What we saw yesterday is a sign of the times. We are in a hyper-partisan time in politics right now. And it's also a manifestation of just how effective Donald Trump has been in demanding and getting loyalty, blind loyalty, from Republicans in Congress. He's been very good at scaring the bejesus out of them because he goes into their primaries, because he goes into the generals. I don't know how many of them like him or not.
They like him.
Okay, well,
Republicans across the country
all I know is that any Republican that's dared speak up against him gets attacked by him. A lot of them lost primaries. A lot of them
are retiring.
Lost generals. A lot of them are retiring. And so there's a lot less Republicans, but they are all blindly, cultishly loyal to Donald Trump.
Yes, Matt.
As are some Republicans outside of Congress as well.
Look, I think on all of this, and I think Ana makes very good points. I don't think impeachment is something. When I say we had a good day, it's not because it's good that the Democrats and only Democrats want to impeach the president. I actually think what's good about it is that if there are no crimes and if they don't come forward with articles that show any criminality, but just like your polling,
Matt,
which
it
you
doesn't
guys
have
have
to be
done.
a crime. That's a,
Anna got
that's
to
just
talk
misleading.
for 2 straight minutes,
but
Allison.
you need to
Let
not be
me
misleading.
talk.
You know
No,
that
you
a crime is
don't
not
have
the
these
standard,
asymmetrical.
Matt.
Don't have an asymmetrical standard. You're going to let her
Don't
talk.
use misinformation.
Let me. I'm not lying. Name one lie. If you think there's a crime, you give me the code right now. Give me the code. What's the crime?
Matt, it
Don't
doesn't have
say
to be a
that I'm
crime.
lying.
It doesn't have to be a crime, Matt. You know that.
It has to be a crime or a misdemeanor. It's in the Constitution.
Matt,
why don't you just play the video of
Matt,
Lindsey Graham saying over and over
Lindsey
again?
Graham was
open
wrong.
to interpretation.
Lindsey Graham was wrong. He's not one of our founding fathers, Anna. I know he's a great guy and all, but he doesn't get to write the Constitution. The founders and we, the people, wrote the Constitution.
He's chair of Judiciary Committee in the Senate.
This is a silly conversation.
Listen,
Look,
Matt, I agree with you.
I agree with you.
This is
Very
dumb.
silly.
Matt,
We should only impeach a president. Let me just tell you my opinion. You can have yours. My opinion is we shouldn't impeach a president unless there are serious crimes, not even just like a jaywalking crime. I think Bill Clinton, when he committed perjury and he had his Me Too moments, I think those were pretty serious. But even in that situation, the Republicans paid a price because it looked like they were being partisan. If the Democrats look like they're being partisan with the impeachment of Donald Trump, I do believe, as your polling that you've done a good job on explaining this morning, will demonstrate that it will benefit the president in the election.
Fair. So, Anna, just comment on that. So do you think that at the end of the day that this will backfire on Democrats for the reasons that Matt has spelled out?
I don't think we know. I don't think we know, and I think that's yet to be seen. And I think that that's why they have to treat it with a great deal of, gravitas and seriousness. I do think there is a crime because I think that that it is a campaign violation to get something that is worth money from a foreign government, from any foreigner. I think that is a campaign violation crime.
It is not.
And I also think, well, that's my opinion.
Open to interpretation.
And and it's going to
That's
be
what's
up
being
to
decided.
judgment. I think that asking anybody to interfere in any foreigner to interfere in U.S. elections is a federal election
Then Clinton
crime.
should be in prison.
But Matt, if
And
you
so
again,
should Joe
now
Biden
you're
under these
veering off. If you
standards.
don't like that, if you don't like what's happened in the past, then you shouldn't like what's happening now.
I don't like the fact that they're having a partisan impeachment. I do think the President of the United States has a right to follow our treaties on corruption with the Ukraine to make sure they rat out corruption. I think what Joe Biden did with his son Hunter, and I don't think Joe Biden will be the nominee. Let me finish.
Matt,
I think
you've
what Joe
got 5
Biden
seconds.
did with Hunter was appalling, and I think it's good that the American people are rejecting him for it.
That's interesting. That you think it
Ivanka
was
Trump and Jared
appalling
Kushner are
with
making $82
him.
million
Jared
inside
Kushner is
while
doing
working
nothing wrong.
inside the White House.
There's nothing wrong
another
with
all
being
right.
rich.
I mean, really, corruption?
Nothing wrong with being
Got
rich.
it. I see. We have a
Nothing
lot of
wrong with being
material
corrupt if your last name is
for
Trump.
another segment.
That's
Anna Navarro.
slander,
Matt Schlapp.
Anna. That's slander.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Bye.
We've got a lot more.